Hey everybody, my name is Michael Rosso. I'm the host of the internet radio show, the Film Photography Podcast on iTunes, and I'm here today to talk about the Mamiya m645 medium format film camera. And the purpose of this video today is not so much to be the Bible video on Mamiya 645 or to be the instruction manual of the Mamiya 645. I really just want to introduce you to this camera, show you some of its functions, how it works, with hopefully inspiring you to go out and get one for yourself. Camera manuals are available online for these older cameras. So if you cannot find a manual, if you buy a used camera and can't find the manual, you can get it online at Mike Butkus's site. That's Mike, Butkus, camera manuals. If you do a Google search on that, you'll find vintage camera manuals. There are a bunch of lenses out there used. This camera is no longer being manufactured, but you could buy all of the lenses and things you may need on eBay.com, Craigslist, and from various forums online. Now, the first thing I'm going to show you is how to load this camera. There is a roll of film in the camera right now. I think we shot the last exposure. I think we're ready to either go to the next frame or it'll just roll out. Let's find out. Oh, that was the last frame I had just shot. And when you're on your last frame, the camera just winds out, which is great, so I can show you how to unload the camera as well as load the camera. So I just rolled out of a roll of 120 roll film. I had a little note in the back of the camera, as I usually do, so I remember what I put in the camera. Take that note off. There's a little button here. You would actually press this in as you move the lever over, and the back of the camera will actually open up. And here you will see the film holder, the film cartridge, the film magazine, whatever you want to call it. It has two little clips on it. You will squeeze those clips, and this will sort of pop right out. And this comes out. Look at that. I just shot a whole roll of film. So here on the film holder, these clips pop right up. Look at that. So I will take out my exposed roll of film right here. And then I will take my empty spool and put it on the take-up side. So I'm ready for my next roll of film. Make sure it fits in place. As you can see, now it's in. I'm going to take a roll of expired AGFA 100 RS film and load this camera right now. Okay, so in the film holder, there's a diagram. So you can actually see if you do not have an instruction manual. Here's the take-up side, and here's the side you're going to put your film. As it says, as it's shown in the little picture here, you want the film side, the emulsion side out. So you would put your film roll in, like so. It fits right in. No violence. Always make sure everything's nice and smooth. Okay, now it's in, and now this emulsion side out will wrap around the back. Look at that. To the other side, which is where the take-up roll is. Check that out. And just get it in the take-up roll very calmly. Always be calm about doing this. Don't be nervous. Don't have the film sweats when it comes to loading film. Always take your time. Relax. As you can see, it's now on the take-up side, nicey nice. And right here, it says, see what it says start. So you want the start arrow on your film to line up with that start right there. And you just keep an eye out for it as you're rolling. Oh, look at that. Look. That arrow is the start arrow. Look at that. So now it's ready. I go back to my camera that's been waiting. I simply take the film back with, this is the 120 film back. As you see, the lettering is right side up. You insert it into the back of the camera. Now holding it from the two clippy things, which are here, clippy things, and you will actually hear it click. Listen. Listen. Whoa. Now it's properly in your camera On the Mamiya M645, the frame counter is manual, and it's here on the side of the camera. I don't know if you can see that. And a frequent error that happens in this model camera is that when you pull your film magazine out, it does not go back to S. And that is a problem because it has to be at S to properly wind. So I'm looking, there's no S there. I'm pulling my film out. In the back of the camera, in here, there are some little gears. And quite simply, with your index finger, you just twist the gear until the film gauge goes back to S. Oh, look at that. S. There's a red S. Start. Now the camera is ready to go. I noticed John Fideli's camera had the same exact problem. Here, click in. It's ready to go. Close the film back by sliding the lever. You'll hear that click as well. And now you're ready to take your first shot. To shoot with the Mamiya M645, you will take this arm and you will wind, and it will naturally stop at 1. Here we go. Number one. Number one. It's ready to go. Now that we have our camera loaded and ready to go, I wanted to show you lenses. The great thing about the lenses, if you shoot 35 millimeter photography, film photography, or digital photography, you'll know that many times lenses come off. And this camera is no different. There's a switch right here, a little lever you would hold in. It's a little metallic looking thing. You would literally hold that, press it, and the lens will come right off. Look at that. And this gives you an opportunity to switch lenses to, let's say, a wider 55 millimeter lens. Or how about a telephoto 210 millimeter lens? Another thing you should know that's very important, this camera will not fire without a battery. The shutter on this camera will not fire without a battery. And your battery is in the bottom portion of the camera. And also, if you have a viewfinder that has a light meter in it, that too will have its own battery compartment. So in order to shoot with this camera, you will set the f-stop, as you would any SLR camera, and you would dial in your shutter speed, which you would also do any manual 35 millimeter SLR camera. I'm at a 60th of a second, f8, perfect to shoot flash photography. There's a hot shoe on top. You can take any vintage classic flash, like the Vivitar 252 flash, which I highly recommend, and you could just put that on the hot shoe of the camera, and you could take a flash shot, which I'm going to do right now. Nice! It'll automatically go to the next frame. Nothing really to think about. Listen to this. It just automatically stops. Here are some examples of images shot with Mamiya M645 camera. I highly recommend that if you're getting into some serious medium format photography, that you consider picking up a Mamiya M645 camera. It also takes what's known as 220 film. 220 film comes in another film holder that says 220 on it. And the difference between 120 roll film and 220 roll film is the fact that 220 roll film is longer, meaning you get more exposures. On 120 roll film, you get 16 exposures on this camera, and on a 220 roll of film, you get 32 exposures. My name is Michael Rosso. I'm the host of the Film Photography Podcast Online, the internet radio show for people who love to shoot film. I know I do. And if you're watching this, you probably do too. You can send me an email, podcast@filmphotographyproject.com. And please do check out our website, filmphotographyproject.com. Send me an email if you have any questions. Until next time, happy shooting.